Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Homestead Mortgage Market Update. We're going to go ahead and jump in today because there's actually quite a bit to cover, especially with what's going on into the market today. So without further ado, I actually want to give you a little bit of hope for realtors and buyers alike out there. Change in home value after 10 years. Look how fantastic this is. There's only been one period, and lo and behold, you might think it would play into something, but there's only been one period that a home value has actually decreased in a 10-year time frame. This is very important to remember because a home is always a good investment. You hold it for 10 years, you are more than likely going to turn a profit. And it's happened every year except for one since 1942. And we expect to see that trend continue. So for the buyers who are a little bit fearful of the housing market, rest assured, this is a great return on your investment. And to make matters better, we are running a spring special for the month of February. If you get pre-approved this month, you will get a free appraisal paid at close of escrow for any point in 2024. So there really is no reason to get in touch with us today and get pre-approved today. We host first-time homebuyer seminars on the third Tuesday of every month, which means February 20th, 5 o'clock p.m., online and in person. We are talking about first-time homebuyers, everything you need to know, and various programs that go along with it. We also host on the first Tuesday of every month, the Credit Education Seminar. This is going to be the first Tuesday of March, the 5th of March, 5 o'clock p.m., online, in person. Why not get some credit education, whether or not you're ready to buy a house, but it's going to be the best way you can control your interest rate. Let's take a look at what's going on in the market, because today, this is Tuesday, February 13th, day before Valentine's Day, we have a little bit of a drop in the market. It does not look too hot out there. If you notice this chart, this is a mortgage-backed security chart. Red is bad, down is bad, green is good, up is good. And here we are today. We have red, lots of red, and down, lots of down. We're currently down 52 basis points, which is quite a significant drop in the market. Now, you in the market seeing this today, you might not see much change in interest rates at this very moment, or maybe even tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What will happen is it will take some time for not only the news cycles, but some lenders to adjust based on this update. And the reason that we are seeing this big drop in mortgage-backed securities, ultimately a rise in interest rates, is we did not get good news on the consumer price index for January. As you can see here, we have the month-over-month column, which looks pretty good, and the year-over-year column. As you can imagine, the year-over-year column is delayed because it accounts for entirety of years, and we have to wait for bad months to fall off and be replaced by good months. So the big numbers you want to take a look at is the core inflation number. Month-over-month was 0.4%. That's not terrible. If we think 0.4 inflation, that's not bad at all. However, we remained unchanged at 3.9%. This is where the bad news came in. We expected this 3.9% year-over-year inflation number to drop to about 3.8%. And because we didn't see that, the market is not reacting terribly fondly. And if we look at interest rates, this is where I say we're not going to see this reflected on interest rates immediately. Take a look at this chart. We had our high of 8%. We had a wonderful 11-week run, and we've kind of stagnated around 6.6-ish%. We went from 6.6 to 6.8, down to 6.2, 6.4. So it's all over the place. However, we do expect this number to rise the next time this data comes out because of today's market action. So it begs the question, what is actually next for us? Because are we about to see interest rates rise again? I mean, the consumer price index went up. Mortgage-backed securities aren't doing great. We expect interest rates next week to rise. Well, let's take a look at the potentials for the future market. We got three main potentials. Some you might think could be on this list, but I'll explain why they won't be. The first is we could see rates come down and we could see prices go up. How do we know that prices would go up in this scenario? Well, even for the last 18 months, actually, sorry, scratch that, not 18 months, since February 2023, we have seen record high appreciation values on homes since February 2023. And you have to remember, look back at that point, we were rising on the interest rate at that point. So higher interest rates and higher home prices, that doesn't make too much sense. So if you imagine that, what happens when interest rates do drop? Well, we are definitely going to see a skyrocket on prices. Well, what would happen if rates stayed about the same? Well, we also expect prices to increase. How do we know this is the case? Well, we've seen prices increase when rates went down. We see prices increase when rates were going up since February 2023. And currently, right now, we are in a stagnant market with interest rates, yet the prices are still going up. So both of these scenarios are not great if you want housing prices to go down. And then you take a look at this third scenario. What happens if interest rates do go up? Let's say the Fed has been completely blowing smoke, which we've seen them do before. Interest rates do go up, and what happens to prices? Well, we could see them go down, but more potential, we're going to see them stagnate or still go up slightly. And the reason for this is because we've had history of this since COVID, and demand for housing is still at record highs while inventory is still at record lows. However, if I had to put a bet on it, now this is me or Homestead Mortgage, putting a bet on it and deciding what I think might happen in the future, I would put bets that rates are going to come down at some point in 2024 and prices are going to go up, as we have seen since February 2023. My rationale for this, really simple, and keep in mind it's my rationale for it. It's because we see an election coming up, and traditionally the incumbent president and the administration lowers interest rates to gain favorability. Leave politics out of it. That is just the history, that is the trajectory, that is the path, and that's what the Fed has indicated for quite a few months now that they would be doing. So with that in mind, we do have our spring special free appraisal for the buyers who get pre-approved, and ultimately what this means is at some point, you're going to be trading higher interest rate for a higher price, or you're going to be trading the same interest rate for a higher price, or you're going to see rising interest rates and potentially rising prices. So now is the time to get in the market. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's Homestead Market Update. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, send anything our way, and we'd be more than glad to help you. Take care.